It began with silence, not the usual hush of forests or the quiet pause before a storm, but a heavy, deliberate silence that carried intent. Birds stopped singing first. Their absence went unnoticed by most, buried beneath the noise of engines and voices. Then came the dogs, once loyal companions, who turned their heads away from their owners' calls. Cats that once purred in laps stared with a cold, calculating patience. At first it was unsettling, but no one thought it more than coincidence. Only later would people remember those days as the calm before everything shattered. The turning point came in the cities. Flocks of pigeons descended in chaotic swarms, diving at pedestrians, ripping food from hands, smashing windows with their frantic wings. In rural towns, cows broke through fences in the night, trampling barns and pushing farmers from their land. Wolves left the forests in coordinated packs, moving like soldiers through suburban neighborhoods. For the first time in history, the predators and prey seemed aligned, united against one target: humans. Governments responded with confusion. Armies were deployed, but how do you declare war on every living creature? Drones and weapons could wipe out pockets of resistance, yet the attacks spread faster than could be contained. Bees became silent assassins, stinging in swarms, overwhelming defenses. Rats invaded subway systems, gnawing through wires and plunging cities into darkness. Even fish proved deadly, leaping from rivers in violent schools, capsizing boats, blocking bridges. Humanity's world was no longer its own. The scientists were the first to suspect a cause beyond coincidence. Something had shifted in the neural patterns of animals. Signals once scattered and individual were suddenly synchronized. A hive mind, but not born from evolution, they claimed. Something external had touched them. Some whispered of alien influence, others of Earth itself rebelling against its abusers. Theories sprouted wildly, but the truth remained hidden behind the growing wall of claws and teeth. In the midst of the collapse was Elias, a zoologist who had spent his life studying communication among species. He noticed something the others missed: animals weren't killing without purpose. They were cornering humans, pushing them away from forests, rivers, mountains. The attacks were brutal, but strangely strategic, like herding cattle. It was not extermination, it was exile. Driven by curiosity and desperation, Elias followed patterns of migration until he stumbled into an abandoned sanctuary deep in the woods. There, amid towering trees, stood something impossible, a structure woven entirely of living minds, pulsing faintly as though alive. Waiting within were animals: wolves, deer, even birds sitting in silent formation. They didn't attack him. Instead, they watched. In the center was a massive elephant, its eyes filled with an intelligence beyond comprehension. And then, for the first time, Elias heard the truth, not in words, but directly in his mind. "We warned you," the voice resonated. "Through the storms, the fires, the dying forests, you did not listen, so we listened to one another. And now, we take back what you cannot protect." Elias fell to his knees, realizing this was no alien trick. It was Earth itself, channeling its will through its creatures. Humanity had been given centuries of warnings, and now nature had decided to survive without them. Yet there was one final revelation. The animals didn't intend to kill all humans. They meant to spare a few keepers, witnesses, exiled custodians who would live in isolation, never again in dominance. Elias was chosen among them, cursed with survival. He would wander the edges of cities reclaimed by vines, watching as skyscrapers turned into nests and highways into rivers. He would live long enough to tell the story, though no one would be left to hear it. And so the age of humanity ended not with fire or war, but with the quiet, deliberate decision of every beating heart that had once lived in humanity's shadow. The planet had chosen sides, and humans were no longer among them.